Welcome to the National World War II Museum's 2018 Robotics Challenge. I'm Rob Wallace, the STEM educator at the museum. This year's challenge is Pelican State Goes to War, and we're sponsored this year by Chevron and Motorola. This challenge is all about the things that we did in Louisiana to support the war effort. And there's a lot of different things. So there's 14 different challenges that you could choose from to gain points this year. I'm going to just start and go across the mat. Of course, as always, you can do whichever challenges you want in what order you want. You're going to strategize to get the most points. So the first I'm going to talk about is the sugar harvest. Sugar was really important during World War II, and our ability to grow it was really important and process it. To represent the processing of sugar, you're going to take these 5 bamboo sticks and you're going to put them into the sugar box that will be right here. And you get points for each bamboo stick that successfully gets into the box. There was also a lot of important air training. In North Louisiana, Claire Chennault trained his air forces. And to represent that, you're going to pull this little airplane out of the hangar and onto the tarmac. Shipping is very important here along the Mississippi River, and it was in World War II as well. And to represent that, you're going to take this boat and you're going to move it from the port upriver all the way downriver to the port here on the lake, the bay. In the middle of the mat, you'll see this hazard. It's an oil derrick. Oil production was very important in World War II. It's not stuck down, and so if you bump it, it'll move out of the way. If you move it out of the box a little bit, you'll lose points, and you lose even more if you move it all the way out of the box, and of course, then it'll be even more in the way. So you want to be careful to avoid that box. One of the biggest training activities in Louisiana in World War II was the Louisiana maneuvers. They're very famous, very important. General Patton was down here for the Louisiana maneuvers. And you're going to drop these soldiers in the target zone to represent that. You get points for each soldier that is inside the target zone, and you get extra points if your blue soldiers are next to each other and your red soldiers are next to each other, because there were a blue team and there was a red team. We provided a lot of timber for our industry in World War II. In particular, the reason we could build so many Higgins boats was that we had so much wood nearby. So to represent that, you're going to take this tree from the timber harvest and bring it back to base. We also produced a lot of cotton. That was very important. So to represent that, you're going to collect these Q-tips. You're going to bring them back to base. That represents the cotton harvest. There was a unit, an anti-tank unit of black soldiers, African-American soldiers. They called themselves the Black Panthers. And to represent that, you're going to bring this tank and you're going to put it back here in this target. Fisheries were really important in World War II, and they still are today. This fish will have a little magnet inside of it. You can use that to help you retrieve it, or you can just pick it up. You pick up the fish from the fisheries, bring it back to base to get those points. All across the country, people were growing food and canning food to help support the war effort. With rationing, we needed a lot of food grown at home to support nutrition. If you drop your vegetable in the jar, you get a lot of points, because that's hard to do. If you just put it, if it just ends up on top of the jar, you still get points, and that represents victory gardening and canning. Of course, Higgins Industries was huge in World War II and in Louisiana. They got an Army-Navy E for Excellence production flag. So you're going to deliver that to the Higgins factory so they can proudly display it. Now, if that is in the target, you get points. If it's standing up in the target, you get even more points. Now, Mardi Gras was canceled for much of World War II. It cost too much. They spent a lot of the resources with drives to buy war bonds instead. So to represent that, you're going to take your float here, which will be decorated in purple, gold, and green, and you're going to cover it with a tarp. And you get points if it's fully covered, a few less points if it's partially covered. POWs were held here in Louisiana, in particular the Africa Corps, the German troops were held in Southeast Louisiana, so you're going to deliver the Africa Corps patch to the POW camp there. U-boats prowled all the coasts of the United States, and there were lots of them in the Gulf of Mexico. We had to protect shipping and our ports by bombing U-boats. So you're going to drop this bomb, this beanbag, on the U-boat. And you get points if you hit the U-boat. If you hit the Victory ship next to it that's carrying cargo, you lose points. Now those U-boats did sink a lot of ships and leave a lot of people stuck out in the ocean, and you need to rescue them. So you're going to deliver this life preserver to the shipwreck site, and you get points for putting it inside that target zone. So these are the 14 challenges available to you to get points in the 2 minutes and 30 seconds of your competitive matches. Choose between them based on which ones you can figure out and which ones you think will get you the most points. For all the details on how to set up your mat, how to put the pieces together, the points you get for each challenge, refer to your competition booklet that will come in your kit along with the mat. Email me if you have any questions about the competition, and I look forward to seeing you in May at the National World War II Museum.